about her? She looked like your mother. She looked like your mother, your aunties, your cousins, your nieces. Any black woman in your family, she looked like me. I am very happy that she's there. She's 12 feet tall. She's very intimidating. When you walk by her, you just gotta respect her. You don't laugh at her. And the only person that should really be mad is a black woman. And we're not mad. They see us. Every single day when they go to work, they see us. She's us. And she's black. And she's tired. We are tired. You didn't think we was tired?
When I saw this, I said, if mediocrity had a monument, this would be it, right? High calorie, hands on the hip with the big back. It now stands, right? A 12-foot ode to delusion is now in the middle of Times Square. And I'm here to tell you, in my opinion, this is not art. It's more like propaganda. But we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about how the left, they just canonized the Oratchetang, right? I've talked to you guys about that term. I know oftentimes people get offended when I use that word, but I've told you the Oratchetang, it is a behavior descriptor. And it's so funny that the artist encapsulated my idea of what one type of an oratchetang might look like. And since we're over here exposing foolishness and tearing down ideological strongholds, what's on the menu for today is this brand new 12-foot symbol that they're saying it's a symbol of Black womanhood. And it's just standing there. Right? And the spoiler alert of all of this is that it's not Harriet Tubman. Harriet was my girl, right? It's not Sojourner Truth. It's not even Oprah or Big Mike. Like, y'all, this is fiction. It's just literal fiction. And yet, we're supposed to bow and celebrate this monstrosity of bronze just because the left says that we should. And so I want to talk about it because the statue itself, when I see it, I'm just like, okay, so what the heck are we looking at? You know, you look at it and you're like, okay, this is a 12-foot statue. It's erected in one of the most iconic public squares in the world. And what is it? It's a fictional Black woman created solely to exist. Not for anything that she's done, not for any contribution to culture or society or to faith or freedom. Nope, she's just there. Tall, Black, just standing there in all of her oratchetang energy, just standing there. And that's it. That's the resume. And so she doesn't have a name. There is no legacy. There's no story behind this woman. She's not a biblical figure. She's not even a civil rights heroine. She's just the embodiment of modern DEI propaganda. Glorified flesh, and a lot of it with no substance. And so my thoughts are very simple. I believe we've hit the peak of symbolism in this country. We're now, it's a celebration of nothing. Let's just give it a round of applause. A celebration of nothing. Kind of like Kamala Harris, but big in bronze, right? So when I think about how low down these leftists really are, I realize that a hunk of bronze, it's not just a statue. They're sending a message. They're sending a message very loud and a very disrespectful message from the cultural elites. And they're saying, we don't need you to do anything, sis. You just need to be Black and be seen. And if this is all that you aspire to be, that's okay. Because you're amazing, right? You're amazing just because you are big and Black. This mindset. This is the mindset that has so many of us Black women walking around incredibly entitled and, dare I say it, unmarriable. Yes, I said that out loud. I said it out loud. It's because this is the message that sends you to think that we deserve to be immortalized and represented as the queens that they claim that we are, queens with the K, that is. However, it doesn't matter. Never mind that the statue or statues in general are supposed to represent ideals that we want to celebrate. Individuals, we've celebrated so many individuals in history who've accomplished something so amazing that people just want to marvel at the likeness of said person. Why? Not because they're necessarily so attractive, right? But rather because that person contributed to the advancement of society in such a remarkable way that you simply don't want to forget them. And so you will tend to make a statue. But this statue, no. This statue, it's representation with no righteousness, no visible sign of virtue. It just amazes me that there are so many women that see this statue and they're just marvel. And I'm like, we have a whole statue that basically just gives Black women attention with no achievement. And so this is how you keep an entire population distracted. You give them idols. You know, this entire Yes Queen generation, they are loving this. But me and my contemporaries, Gen X and above, we're disgusted by this. And even if you're my generation, you're like, actually, I like it. I don't. The idol, I'm calling it an idol. This idol is insulting. It's incredibly insulting, and make no mistake about it. Please believe, y'all, that statue, I'm gonna pull up a picture of it. Matter of fact, let's go on in. Did I make a picture of it? I think I did. Let me pull it up. I want y'all to see it. This statue is a shrine. That's a shrine. Y'all see? Right there. That's a shrine. And in my opinion, what does this shrine honor? Y'all, this shrine honors, it's the embodiment of the Oratchetang. Now, I'm going to familiarize you guys with the definition of an Oratchetang in case you are new here. I have a whole vernacular, colloquialisms that I coin to describe things, situations, circumstance, and the Oratchetang, that's a term that I coined that describes a female imbecile who cannot manage her misery, okay? And as a result, she embodies chaos and toxicity everywhere that she goes. She shows out. She's like this cyclone of dysfunction and destruction. No matter what you try to do to make her happy, you can't. And to be clear, I'm not talking about race, right? I'm talking about behavior. Now, they chose to enshrine an Oratchetang that happens to bear the likeness of a Black American woman. But when I talk about the term Oratchetang, I'm talking about behavior, attitude, the fruit of an individual. This is not a dermal descriptor. It's not an ethnic one. But we do need to be real. The left, they are exploiting a very specific archetype of the Black female to keep her loyal to the Democrat plantation and to leftist ideology and to make her the DEI idol of this generation. Mark my words, that's what we are witnessing. Do you guys remember during the DNC, the committee elections, when there was this Black woman who was running for some position who continued to remind the audience over and over again that a Black woman was at the podium and she was speaking, right? Y'all remember that? As if saying that was supposed to somehow make everyone be quiet. A Black woman is speaking, and as a Black woman up at this podium, I demand, that's the Oratchetang that they wanted to embody. That is what this statute represents. It's the loud, angry, high-calorie, combative, disruptive. This person doesn't build anything. They don't nurture. They don't transform anything. They just perform. They perform, they react, just vibes, but not the kind that anyone wants to be around. So in Times Square, we have this statue, and it's her. It's the Oratchetang in bronze. And the left wants you to say, yes, queen, right? They want you to behold her in all of her glory. Reign, sis, reign. Yes. No, this is deeply offensive. And if we don't tear down this horrible looking thing with no bra on, nobody wants to see this. Nobody asked for this, but they celebrated this and unveiled it and expected everybody to walk by and marvel and be like, oh, it's just it's so regal. It's so beautiful. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, this is why I keep saying that DEI is a circus, and this is their main act. And this is all performative, but this is deeper. This is so much deeper than this ugly statue. This is what DEI has become, a giant cultural game of charades where we're supposed to pretend that symbolism equals substance. You don't have to accomplish anything. No, just dye your hair or shave it all off, since that seems to be the thing, and then scream oppression, right? And then the world is your oyster. You can have whatever you want. You don't need to build a legacy of anything noteworthy. Just say, I am here, right? And your mere presence is supposed to be enough. You don't need a mission. You don't need a mission that's bigger than you. All you have to do is embody a mood, and you can get a statue in your honor. So I'm saying that DEI needs to be rebranded. And what we should call it is delusion, entitlement, and idolatry. And I've come to accept, and I wish more women could see it, that this is a strategy of distraction to keep Black women from building and doing what God designed us to do, and instead to be lifted up in pride with a fake kingdom with no subjects. And the reason why I say no subjects is not like we're bearing a lot of children in the confines of marriage and we're pouring into the next generation. No, we don't have that. And the saddest part about this is that in my opinion, this is strategic. This is very strategic because the left knows.
Here's a concise pinned comment to complement the description.
Why are you talking?
Is the Times Square statue a tribute or a travesty? Drop your thoughts below. Let's get real about what we're truly celebrating.
Y'all, Siri decided it wanted to answer a question in the middle of the live stream. I appreciate it, but I don't recall asking you that. Oh, it gave me a pinned comment. How cool is that? Anyway, what was I saying about this statue? We rebranded it. We've called it delusion, entitlement, and idolatry. Oh, I remember. We were talking about this strategy of the left. And hold on, it needs my face. This is me. There we go. Instead of us focusing on what we should be building, I just finished saying that they want us to glory in this fake kingdom. They want to crown us, right? But we have no subjects. And then to make it worse, this strategic plan by the left, I think they are very much aware of the fact that if Black women truly knew the power of our femininity, biblical femininity, walking in wisdom and virtue, that we would be unstoppable. So the plan is, let's distract her. Let's give her a false crown. Let's bestow upon her some meaningless title. And then to add the cherry on top, we're going to erect a statue that, in my opinion, this is the ugliest thing I've seen erected in modern history. To me, this is worse. Do y'all remember that statue where we couldn't tell if it was an arm hugging someone or a phallic symbol or a turd? Do y'all remember that? This to me is worse than that, because to me, that other random piece of art was kind of subjective and you didn't really know what it was. With this, they're actually telling you that this is what we want you to celebrate. This is what we want you to celebrate. They want you to be distracted and so busy glorying in your flesh and posing for a picture that we don't actually spend time actually building something meaningful. And then in the meanwhile, they'll celebrate and be happy that our kids are fatherless. Many of us are brokenhearted with unhealed trauma wounds. The community's burning down. It's super chaotic. But don't worry, you got a statue. You got a statue. And that is the most important thing. Choose you. Choose yourself. Celebrate yourself. Be selfish and reign supreme. Because this is your queen. So, what is the biblical response? What kind of biblical admonition can we take away from this? Y'all know sometimes I like to get real deep and super spiritual, but I think tonight I'm going to keep it relatively simple. I say that we should stop bowing to idols, right? We don't need idols, right? Idolatry, we've got a big enough problem with idolatry as it is. This statue is another little sneaky little way that the enemy can get an entire people group to adopt another form of idolatry. And then now they want everyone, I would say they'd like to bring everyone in on the idolatry, but it's not. Everyone else is participating in mockery. Everyone else is mocking, but they realize that we lack so much self-awareness that while the world is mocking us, we're celebrating it unaware of the mockery around us. And so you would think perhaps they would try to embody maybe the Proverbs 31 woman, right? We got enough Orachetangs in the culture. Why? We didn't need to see this one. Why is this what they decide to immortalize? I would rather us, instead of erecting statues in memorial of this, what if we spent time doing some introspection, recognizing that we don't have enough Titus 2 women, raising up other Titus 2 women, and why aren't we finding, identifying, and honoring women who fear the Lord? Not just those who want to serve their flesh and glory in their flesh by celebrating an ugly statue that nobody asked for. And I know many of y'all are like, why is this one black woman out here on the internet tearing down another black woman? Y'all, she ain't even real. She's not even real. And yes, I want to tear that black woman down. I don't want to see that. Because I want us to lift up actual women who are actually doing something meaningful, who are actually engaging in positive things, not imaginary ones who just stand there with no bra on, doing nothing, representing all of the undesirable qualities that nobody likes, but that we keep being told are good. They want to celebrate our poor health outcomes. They want to celebrate the fact that we are single and we out here, we doing it. We don't need no man. They want us to celebrate that. That's not something to celebrate. That is a cultural travesty. And so to kind of round out this segment, what I want to do is I want to share, I pulled a clip of Thomas Sowell, the great Thomas Sowell. And he had something to say about this. But before, did I pull the clip of Thomas? And you know, it was a copyright issue and it was just the audio. But what I did do is, you guys, Fox News covered this. And I had to hold my head down in shame because here's what I think so many of us in our community do. Everybody knows that this was an abject failure. But when someone of a different ethnicity provides commentary on it, our first knee-jerk reaction is to defend it, not because we think it's good, it's just because we don't really want white folks or any other ethnicity that's not us to call some foolishness out for what it is, stir-fry foolishness. So what we do to build a shield around us, we will attack the messenger versus saying this is a darn shame that these people put this darn statue out here and we need to defend it, but because we actually have a little ethnic narcissism and we can't call the spade a spade, what we just got to do is we have to act like we like it and try to find some beauty or virtue in it, even though there is none. So I want to, Hillary, go on, get down. What you doing up there, girl? Is that you? Yes. Let's put Ratchy back up. I don't know where it go. All right. Let me play this clip for y'all.
Democrats have been on a statue jihad since the summer of love. Christopher Columbus, Teddy Roosevelt, George Washington, even Honest Abe, even Frederick Douglass all got torn down. Statues are important. They tell the American story. But the left wants to desecrate and forget our heroes and erect their own statues. In Times Square, a giant statue of a black woman just went up. And when I heard about the statue, I was open-minded. American heroes come in all shapes and sizes. Who is this woman? What did she do to get a statue? A nice one, too. Nothing. This isn't a real person. It's a DEI statue. The sculptor says she's a fictional character who's meant to contrast the statues of white men in Times Square.
So basically, I'm stopping it there because if that's the artist's explanation, this figment of the imagination is supposed to contrast the white men in Times Square, which contributed and had notable accomplishments and actually did something. They literally just told you that you can just be black and represent nothing, be nothing, do nothing spectacular, but you should just be celebrated just because you were black. And I'm like, wait a minute, I can't even control the ethnic expression that the Lord chose to wrap this flesh in. I can't control that. I can't change it if I wanted to. I can't improve upon that if I wanted to. But yet, this woman gets a statue, and this is supposed to be better, and it's supposed to be some sort of improved contrast to the statues that are already there. And I'm like, well, when we look at what these people actually accomplished to deserve a statue, you basically just told me to embrace mediocrity, and I am supposed to be okay with that and accept it. I said, you know, these darn leftists are low down. You can't tell me that's not racist. In the name of diversity, equity, and inclusion, they literally just said, they said the part out loud that's what we've been saying is that meritocracy matters. And now they're telling you, no, it doesn't. Meritocracy doesn't matter. Identity politics trumps everything. You ain't even gotta be black and fly. You could just come out the house with no bra on, an unflattering pair of pants, some old tired braids with your hand on your hip and say, celebrate this, bow down. That's it. That's all we gotta do. Okay. You white liberals are sure low down. Y'all make me sick.
Like Father Duffy, a World War I hero who actually accomplished something. The artist calls this fake lady a modern-day David. The contrapposto pose of her body and the ease of her stance is a subtle nod to Michelangelo's David. David was a celebration of the human form. Not sure what this statue's celebrating.
Type 2 diabetes, probably. That's what this is celebrating. They want all of us on metformin with hormonal imbalances, a whole stank attitude. and dressing in unflattering clothes, and they want the world to celebrate this. I told you they were low down. If you don't believe nothing else, if this doesn't force you to take a look at yourself and say, you know what? If this is what they're celebrating, no, I'm doing everything to be not that. Why do you think I spend the time that I do? Obviously, yes, I want to look good for my husband because I want him to see me and be like, this is why I come home. But I'll be darned. I'll be darned if I'm going to get up here on this here live stream and be looking homely and horrible and expect you guys to enjoy that. Who wants to see that? Now, I get it. You doing impromptu lives. You on your phone. I've done plenty of live streams. Y'all, especially before I was taking content creation serious, I'd show up on camera looking like who done it and why. I ain't even gonna lie. I listen, I was a homeschooling mama. I was like, listen, if I don't get this out, it's not going to get out. And yeah, my hair's looking a little raggedy right now, but so what? The message matters. And it did. The message did matter. But the moment you realize that the culture deserves to see an example of something else and something to be proud of, you start taking your role a little bit more serious. Because see, this is what they want. They want all of us to look like this all of the time. They couldn't find a nostalgic picture of a black woman of yesteryear with some gloves on and a cute little hat with her children and her husband by her side. I'm not into the feminism, womanist, bow down and celebrate she-ness. I'm not into that. But I could have at least been like, now that's a beautiful portrait. I see stability there. I see a Proverbs 31 woman. Maybe she would have had a basket in her hand. I don't know. Something. But this is what they came up with.
If you were going to put up a fake statue, why not make her happy and healthy? Not slap a big scowl on her face and her hands on her hips.
Because this is who y'all inspired this. For every black woman that showed out at the Dollar General, for every black woman that made a big stink at the restaurant because something with her meal wasn't right and she couldn't do it in a nice way but chose to be in a Oratchetang and show out, y'all were the inspiration for this. The bonnet bays, the ones who show up to the airport with their slippers on, y'all were the inspiration for this. I blame y'all. Now, y'all celebrate yourselves. I'm not celebrating it. I don't care who is mad and who is offended. Do better. Don't be mad at me. Be mad at yourself that you find that this representation of the Black American woman is acceptable. This is that culture of blackness I was telling you about. I'm an American Negro. I don't even want to be associated with this foolishness because the culture of blackness comes along with it all this baggage of loathe, liberation, rebellion, victimhood, this unpleasing, unpleasant grievance mindset. You have no joy. Everything is someone else's fault. This is a problem.
This is what they want us to aspire to be? If you work hard, you can be overweight and anonymous? They don't like real statues because it reminds them of our society's merit-based system. They want a society based on equity, where achievement isn't celebrated, equal outcomes are. So they celebrate mediocrity instead of triumph. Our nation has hundreds of statues honoring Black Americans, as we should. Harriet Tubman, Duke Ellington, Jackie Robinson, Rosa Parks. We could go on and on and on. But they've built a statue in Times Square. They could have done it for Michelle Obama or Kamala Harris or Oprah Winfrey. Usually you have to earn a statue.
Listen, let me be fair. I don't even like Oprah. I don't even like Oprah and her godless worldview. But even Oprah could have got a statue and I wouldn't have been upset about it. You know why? There's a narrative out there that some people say Oprah is self-made. And, for all I know, that is true. And from the way it looks like it is. And then some say she's an operative because she kind of helped usher in feminism and I am woman, hear me roar. And that might be true too. But Oprah came from the bottom. Now, I don't understand her victim mentality, knowing that she came from the bottom and built brick by brick the Harpo enterprise that it is today. It bothers me that she pushes negative stereotypes and doesn't really celebrate the nuclear heteronormative family. But golly, that is a self-made woman who, like her or love her, has actually accomplished something. She accomplished something. Chubby and all. Upweight, little Oprah, big Oprah. Listen, like I said, I don't like her, but we could have got Oprah. I wouldn't have been mad. I'd be like, well, she kind of earned it. She paid her dues and she earned it. We don't even know who this heifer is. She ain't done nothing.
I'd give one to Jalen Brunson. He's carrying the Knicks on his back. Anyone but a fake lady. So, what does New York think about the DEI statue?
Do you know who this woman is?
No.
I have no idea, no.
Nope.
I have no idea, no.
No, I do not.
Do you have any idea of maybe something that she accomplished that got her a statue?
Something with equal rights? I don't know.
Something to do with like the Black community.
Part of the BLM movement.
What if I told you she accomplished nothing?
Really?
It's supposed to embody everybody. Does that make sense to you?
No.
I think I feel totally represented by that.
You do?
No.
I feel like it's a good representation for New York, especially because it's towards the BBW women and a lot
I'm
of
sorry,
people,
what's BBW?
big black, like the big black women.
What do you think about her pose? Is that a good pose?
No, I don't think she's happy to be here.
People are comparing it to Michelangelo's David. How do you think it stacks up?
She's wearing more clothes.
She's not naked. No.
Would it be better if she were?
That's a tough question.
Who do you think she voted for?
I would say Trump.
I think she voted for Trump.
Probably Kamala.
Why do you think that?
Black Lives Matter.
Probably didn't vote
Why?
because she's stuck here the whole day. She couldn't get to.
Okay, that was funny. He thinking she probably was stuck. She mad about something. She too busy being mad to go get in line and go vote. Because, you know, when they got their mindset on something, that was
How does she make you feel?
Like a baddie.
What a beautiful piece, standing in the middle of Times Square. What a beautiful time.
Jimmy Fail is the host of Fox News Saturday Night.
There it is.
Have you checked this statue out?
I have watched it. It is not quite Michelangelo's David. It's more like Michelangelo's Lizzo, if we're going to be honest. And when I say Michelangelo, I mean the migrant dressed as the Ninja Turtle, Michelangelo.
Oh, that Michelangelo.
That's hanging out in Times
The
Square.
one that my son plays with.
Amen. Everything wrong with liberals is they're into slacktivism over activism, meaning this is supposed to be outreach to the minority community, changing a statue. But you don't improve test scores or lower crime by changing what a pigeon goes potty on in the park. Because that's ultimately what a statue, that's its impact on society, is it's a restroom for things that fly. But you understand, it's called, I love this, I looked at the placard, it's called Grounded in the Stars. That's what this is supposed to mean.
What does that mean?
Well, it's a fancy way of saying you're grounded in weed and bum pee, because what is in Times Square right now? And if you wanted to make a statue that memorialized the women of Times Square, it would be a hooker with an Adam's apple. Let's be honest.
Now that's true. I mean, y'all from New York. Well, see, back in the 90s, I would have probably said that. They kind of Giuliani cleaned Times Square up, and it's actually very nice. Listen, the reason why I played this clip is because I needed you guys to see that this is not something that we should be celebrating. And first of all, if we spent less time worried about who is or who is not celebrating us and spent more time saying, what can I do that would make my family proud of me? What can I do to contribute in a meaningful way to the human flourishing of society at large? We really wouldn't. This is why I hate DEI. This is why I hate DEI, because it gives you this fake sense of I'm really doing a good job when you're failing miserably, probably at the basics. To think that we're supposed to celebrate a statue of a nameless woman who's accomplished nothing, all in the name of being grounded in the stars. I don't even know what that means. I don't even know what that means. But I can tell you the symbolism behind this is not good. And the fact that there are not enough Black women outraged about this, like this statue is not permanent. It is temporary and it's supposed to come down in a couple of weeks. It should have been down. It should have been. If the NAACP was worth a darn, if they actually cared about ethnic images and Black people and actually advancing the colors, right? They would have had a press conference in front of this ugly statue and say, how dare you low down liberals think that you could put this up and we're supposed to rally behind it and celebrate it. But you know what? They're Marxists. They actually want us to glory in the expectations of low. They don't want us to aspire to do anything or to be anything based on our merits. They want us to glory in our flesh and to celebrate something that we had no control over simply because they are ethnic idolaters at heart and they are suffering from a narcissism that only the light of Christ can break through and make these people alive in Christ Jesus. I'm gonna calm down. There must be a mosquito in here. He is tearing. He going to town on my neck. Listen, I should have cut or pulled the Thomas Sowell clip. Thomas Sowell does an amazing job of breaking down from his perspective. But the clip was just so long and it was audio and we might revisit this another time. But at the end of the day, I just wanted y'all to meet the DEI goddess of nothingness. I wanted you to behold the Oratchetang that's all the rage in some segments of the Black community because we lost sight on merit, hard work, tenacity, aspiring to be more and do more. And we are taking the path of least resistance, which is celebrate me because I'm Black, immortalize me in bronze, and give me positions of power and influence, like Jasmine Crockett said, because I'm Black. Just because. Her words, not mine. Her words, not mine. But I am curious to know what you guys think. Do you think that why she don't want to go down? Oh, well, maybe because I didn't. I don't know why she don't want to go down. I mean, as a Black female, this is what the Democrat Party, the progressive left, the liberal agenda, by and large, this is what they want us to be. They want us to be angry, toxic, chaotic, government dependent, childless, unmarriageable, overweight, on metformin, high calorie, loud, abrasive, insufferable. Because this is who they platform. This is who they platform. They don't want our children to be well-grounded, well-rounded, respectable. They don't want to see us hospitable, smiling, full of joy. They don't want us to be the apple of any man's eye because that's oppressive. And that's like bondage and slavery. If you don't wake up and realize that if you don't get off this liberalism train, that it is a train that leads to nowhere, I can't help you. I can't help you. If you continue to stay in these churches that celebrate foolishness like this, that preach to your pain but don't preach toward repentance of your sin, but keep you comfortable in a cycle of this foolishness, if you're going to continue to go to churches like that, you get what you deserve. You want that. You want to be lied to. You want to be told that this is all that you have to aspire to be. Just exist, just be, and that is going to be good enough. So that's pretty much all I had to say about that.